Hello and welcome everyone. So today and right now I have with me Millie, who has also completed the recent Awaken Life program, and I thought her story would be inspiring to some of you, and just giving you different variations of how to apply the teachings and how Millie has applied the teachings in her life since she's come into this work. So welcome Millie, welcome to this case study, this session. Um, so Millie also doesn't know what I'm going to ask her. But maybe we can start, Millie, first with your journey. Where you were before you got into the Awaken Life, how you found it, where you were, and then we can talk through, what that journey was like, and after in a minute. But kind of before that, if you can even imagine it or go back to that time.
Yeah, I'll try and paraphrase. So before I did Awaken Life, I was a yoga teacher, and I had already done quite a lot of work on myself in some ways, in the sense that I'd always had struggles with anxiety and depression since I was about 17. I lost my dad when I was quite young, and so I was working through all that stuff. I've been going to psychologists for years and learning cognitive behavioral therapy, and then obviously I got into yoga, which really helped with my mental health. Um, and so I've been doing like a lot of stuff moving in the right direction. But then I met Dylan on my teacher training, and he just said one sentence to me in that teacher training, which just absolutely triggered something in me. And so I was always interested. Like, I had this awareness of like, oh, hang on, like I got something out of just 5 minutes with Dylan. So what
What
else is
was that
there?
one thing?
It was that, so at the time I had a real issue with traveling, and I'm not scared of flying or anything. I just had it in my head that traveling wasn't for me. I'm just an anxious person. It's just my tendency to behave that way, and I just have to accept. I've learned to love myself as a not traveling person. And then Dylan said to me on that day, he said, well, you can just step out of that. Like, you don't have to bring your past into your present or even your future. Like, you can just choose to step out of that thought process, that story that you're telling yourself. And I was like, it's not a story, it's true. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, it's actually not. I'm just believing that. It's just a fact that I've made up. um,
Mm.
so it triggered me to actually go and book a holiday that I was really wanting to book, that I was too scared to do. Went on the holiday, completely didn't look back, was like, oh my God, life is incredible. I was living in this comfort zone that I'd created, which was actually a prison. It wasn't comfortable because I'd told myself that this is where I needed to be, and I didn't. And that was just like 5 minutes. So then when lockdown happened, and Dylan was advertising the Awaken Life program, I was kind of like just a bit intrigued, like, well, if you can do that in 5 minutes, like, what else can I change about myself? What else is there? Sky's the limit kind of thing. So I did my first mini awaken, and even like in the first probably hour, when we were talking about stuff and you were explaining how the mind works and how I have these tendencies to think of things in certain ways, and I had just basically how the mind works, I was like, yeah. For me, I'd got all I needed to get out of that. I was like, oh my God, yeah, these are the ways that I behave, and these are the thought processes that I can look at and unpick. And I thought that was enough. So I was like, great, I've got so much out of this. And that was like literally tip of the iceberg. I feel like you talked to my head, and then I had the most incredible experience where I actually, for the first time probably in my life, bypassed my mind and actually went into my heart for the first time and thought about, I felt it rather than thinking it. And for the first time, I didn't rationalize, I didn't analyze, I just felt. And so I was like, well, this healing stuff, it works. There's something there. So ever since I've had that experience now, I just feel like a completely different person. I see the world in a completely different way. Um, I see myself in a completely different way. And yeah, it's just, I didn't really think I had much to work on beforehand, because I was like, well, I've been going to psychologists, I do yoga. I thought I was so aware already. And then it was only when I had this experience that I realized that I'm not even going anywhere near my heart or my soul. I'm just scratching the surface in my mind. And yeah, it's like, on some level I knew I wanted to explore it. And then when I did, I was like, wow, here it is. This is what I've been looking for. So yeah, came out of nowhere, really.
Cool. So, and that's one of the things I say a lot of, where, you don't have to be broken and want fixing or something like that to come into this work. That the basic premise of this work is that you're not broken, and I'm not trying to fix you, and no one's trying to fix anyone here. And the teachings is that perhaps there's something that we've missed in our perspective of ourselves and our connection with ourselves. So this journey is really just about going within and connecting with ourselves on a deeper level. And as a result of that, that awareness, that connection can actually transform everything. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I was just reiterating something that you just said then. So what was it like then going into the journey of Awaken Life? And this isn't about Awaken Life, but I'm just using that as an example of the process and the journey, that you've been through. So what was it like going through that journey? Where are you at now? What did you learn? How did it impact you, that whole journey of Awaken Life, which was like 15 days? And I think, yeah, 15 days for you. I think you did the 15-day version.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, I went into it. I even said that to you when I went into it. I was like, I feel actually okay. I feel like I've dealt with a lot of stuff. I just feel like it's almost like I want to just do a final sweep just to make sure I've cleared up all my past trauma and stuff like that. I thought I was so fine. And really, that's what I've done, is I've reconnected with it. And so when I signed up to the Awaken Life program, I was very skeptical, thinking, just probably won't get much out of this. And as well, I had this doubt of like, it's online. It won't work over the internet. Just no, like it was so much more not intense in a negative way, but just intense in like you really do work on stuff. It's not scary. It's a lot more intense than you think. And so for me, I suppose it's really unpicked a lot of my neural pathways, my thought processes. It's really unpicked a lot of those. It's really connected me to the me behind the noise in my mind. And every now and then I still have an odd wobble, but for me, it's shown me where it is. So I always know that I can get back to that through meditation, through anything. I know where it is. And if I forget it, I can get back to it. So for me, it's like irrevocably made this connection in me to my true self. And even if I wobble or lose it, I know I can come back to it. And so that's like invaluable in itself for me. I would have done it a million times over just for that. So
Awesome. And what has it left you with now that you've done the program? It's been a couple of weeks now. What's been the impact of it in your life, would you say?
Well, I mean, it's not even just for me. It's not even just on a spiritual level that it's changed me, because like obviously I've had this shift internally, but it has just had a domino effect on my entire life. Like it's given me the confidence to start a business, which again, so I always thought with lockdown, and I had a bit of a trauma with my horse was ill, and normally I was put in a position where I would normally freak out, have a meltdown, and I, instead of being like, okay, I need to survive this, I actually felt myself go, hold up, this is a good thing, this is the universe doing something, sit with it, work it out, listen to that voice, what's actually going on here. And now I genuinely feel like even when I have troubles, I thrive off them. It's put me in a place where I had this dilemma to make with my horse, and I had to make a lot of money, and actually I was like, that's the point, like it's what I need. And it pushed me to go and start this business now. So like it's obviously happens on a very deep level, the shifts and the changes, but it has a complete ripple effect into your everyday life. So my whole life has completely changed. My perspective on life has changed as well.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you. And what would you say are some of the things that you learned, or like maybe even just like one main learning or takeaway or impact, that if you were, so that people watching this video can go, okay, that's like a digestible thing that they can take and take into their life, and not so much that I'm asking you to teach it, but what was something that you took away from it? What, even without even thinking about it too much, that whole journey that you've been through, what would be your biggest learning, would you say?
That you do create your own reality, and even when you watch your thoughts and you think you're watching your thoughts, even watch those thoughts, like completely, you are actually in control of your own mind. You are in control of your own fate, your own destiny, and you can take back control, and you can think it's external factors that are making you this way, and it's not you. The biggest thing I've learned is rule number one: you take back responsibility, you take back control of your life. You say, hang on, I'm driving, I choose what thoughts I give energy to. And you can keep believing that it's not you and it's not fair, and I'm not in control, and I have anxious thoughts and I can't change them. Even those thoughts you're giving energy to, and you can literally just say, don't want to think that anymore. And it sounds, and if you told me that 3 months ago, I'd be like, rubbish, you can't do that. But it genuinely is that simple. It's just step out of it, choose something else. And that feeling of stepping out into the unknown, I've always been too scared to do it. Like I cling to what I know, the familiar. It's familiar for me to tell that story of, I'm an anxious person, so I have to manage it and I have to live with it. And this, I think that's what it is that I learned methods to deal with my anxiety, which has been great. They got me through tough times. But you and the Awaken program have given me this push to be like, okay, just let the whole thing go now. Like, you don't need to survive anxiety, you just don't need it at all. And it was that take back control and step into the unknown, which I know is the biggest juxtaposition in the world, but that's I can't explain it. It is, you take back responsibility and then you just let go completely and step into the unknown. It's amazing.
And I mean, you're someone who you just said before that you had anxiousness or anxiety, and you kind of, maybe there's diagnosis, you can share as much or as little as you want about that, but I think it's more for anyone out there that's watching this video that does have anxiety, or maybe they even to the extreme, of panic attacks and things like that. Knowing what you know now and the shifts that you've experienced, have you had more anxiety, or I don't know if you had panic attacks, but and what would you say to, if not them, then maybe the old you, or something that the people watching this could relate to if they have anxiety as well?
I think my biggest thing is that I've had times with my anxiety where I completely gave up hope with it. I was like, this is just who I am. I just have to accept it. And I felt hopeless, but genuinely now, and I still have wobbly days, even on the Awaken program.
Yeah.
Near the end, I was still having the odd wobbly day, but the shifts and the changes that you make they're irreversible. So like, I have found that real voice in me. So when I do lose myself and I can't hear me, and I get a bit anxious or a bit wobbly, even when I make videos like this, I'd be like a bit like, woo. But it's just a case of going, oh, hey, I know what's happening. And then I go, okay, remember who you are and just choose something different. Like, I'm like, oh, my brain's going in that direction. I go, hold up, I know what you're doing. And I'm still choosing to step in this direction. And that's why it's little steps every day. So you can't undo the past. My brain will always have a tendency to want to go in that direction, but I'm teaching it. No, we go this way this time. We go this way this time. And each time it gets easier and easier to go, no, this is who I am now. Don't forget.
Brilliant. I love that. And actually, we all have wobbles. Sometimes people ask me that. It's like, oh, you had a wobble. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm human, and we all have wobbles, and it's exactly that same formula that works for everyone. If you have a mind, then you can use that formula. If you have a brain, if you have a mind, if you have a body, if you're human, then that formula would work. And maybe tell us a little bit, if you want to, on I mean, you just said about setting up a new business. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like, and journey, and I mean, starting a brand new business, and obviously you had quite a big reason with your horse, and your horse not being well, and it was like the ultimatum that you were given. So you had a driving force, you had like a big reason behind it. But for those people who are out there sitting there thinking, oh, I mean, yoga teacher, I mean, you teach yoga. For yoga teachers, or really any business, they have a certain talent or something that they want to share with the world, or a message, or a skill, or a gift. Maybe it's poetry, maybe it's art, maybe it's, yoga, maybe it's anything. And lockdown has been an amazing time where people, I think, have realized some of their gifts. What could you share about that part of this, this journey for you?
Well, the first thing was that 100% manifesting works, because I was always so skeptical about that. I was like, I need to understand it with my brain. You can't just feel something and it happens. I don't get that. And I had my first real experience of that with this thing. So basically my horse got ill and I was told that either I pay the top end of £3,000 for an operation or he gets put to sleep. And so I was having a meltdown being like, oh, I can't do it, I can't cope, I'm not going to find £3,000 in a week, it's lockdown, I'm unemployed, whatever. And I gave my head a wobble. Many people was like, stop it, have a think, you can work this out. And I flipped it on its head and I'm like, okay, I need to make £3,000. That sounds ridiculous, but why is it ridiculous? I'm just believing that it's not possible. Let's believe it's possible. So like entertain the idea, choose what you believe. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And through many different ways, like lots of different things, just the universe happened kind of thing. Like I just got a government grant randomly for being self-employed. Like I don't know how it happened, but all this money just trickled in suddenly when I really put my mind to it. And now I've got it sat in my bank account. My horse is having the operation on Monday, and
Wow.
it's just all fallen into place. And it was only because I needed that kick, and I started my first email to my first mailing list that I've just set up, saying that sometimes the universe has to make you uncomfortable for you to move. And it did, because I've been wanting to start this business. I've been wanting to sell my yoga, but I've always been too scared, thinking I'm not good enough, I'm competing with all these people, why am I different? And I still have those wobbles, I still lack the confidence, but I've been given the boot. And the biggest thing that Dylan said on the course, he was like, who are you to stand in the way of the universe? If you've got a gift, who are you to decide not to share it with the world? Like, what right do you have to block it? So I have this gift, I need to let it out. People will either like it or they won't, but either way I've got to just let it out and see what happens. So again, it's stepping into the unknown. I'm just trusting that I have to do it. So yeah, watch this space.
Amazing. And let's talk a little bit about that. So where can they find your yoga classes, or what it is that you're putting out, these gifts? How can they
I
find
hate
that?
doing this because I know it puts pressure on it. I'll freak out. As soon as I say it out loud, I'm like, oh, I've committed, scary.
Yeah.
So I'm on Instagram at Millie Does Yoga. I have the mailing list there, and it's going to be called The Blueprint. So it's basically going to be yoga that you take off the mat and into your life. It's not just physical postures, it's learning how to live with awareness. And when you live with awareness, anything can become your meditation, anything can become therapy. So that's my thing, is that I'm taking off. And it's for people my age who are so scared of talking about spirituality or mental health or anything that's not quite in the normal eye. So it's just to get people talking, really, and to get people my age who are struggling in silence and are too afraid to speak about these things, just to be like, okay, well, we're all having a similar experience, why don't we talk about it, and why don't we like reconnect? We all need to reconnect. So yeah, that's my plan.
Amazing. Love it. And I mean, this is a time where some of the people watching this video, and probably beyond this time as well, right now we're in the conversation of after Awaken Life. The group inspired me to, you guys, the group inspired me to create what I'm calling Soul Gym, or actually even that name was inspired by someone in the group.
June.
So yeah, John, yeah. And so, what would you say, what were some of the obstacles that you had coming into, into this kind of work? And different people have different things that they come up against. And for some people, it's money, it's time, it's, feeling not good enough. Am I worthy to, heal myself? Like, all this kind of stuff. So what was it for you? How did you overcome that? Because there might be something there that someone watching this could apply and then receive the benefits of this work. But obviously they won't receive it. They don't jump in.
I think the first thing that I had was curiosity. I was just curious because I was like, there's something that keeps this. I'm obviously looking for something, because if I keep seeing the adverts and thinking, oh, there must be something in me that's looking for something. And even when I signed up, I was like, I'm actually fine. I don't need to be here. I'm just interested in how you work. Like, oh, shut up. So I was just curious. And again, I was like, oh, I can't afford that. I'm unemployed. Like, I can't afford the money, whatever. And as I said, I did a first mini awaken. And within the first hour, I was like, I would pay triple for this. Like, it was just incredible. And it's never a waste investing in yourself, because you put the time and the effort and the money in for whatever, just a small thing, like you think, oh, it's just like a 2-week course, like why am I spending so much money on 2 weeks? But actually the domino effect it's had on my entire life, I've probably already earned that back and then some with the business I've set up afterwards. Like, if you think of it in terms of money, it's an investment, but it's investment in yourself, and it's always worth it.
Amazing. I agree with that. It is an investment, and actually the greatest investment, as you probably heard me say, better than any stock market, any investment is always investing in you. And, when you're doing something like this, you're not just moving the pieces outside of you, but you're actually making shifts internally. And when you do that, it's super powerful. It's like rocket fuel, what's possible. It's accelerated, it's exponential, the results, because little shifts within can have monumental, exponential, geometric results externally.
Yeah, and you're never
Um,
going to come out worse, are you? Like, you're never going to come out worse. So roll the dice, step into the unknown, and see what happens. You're either going to come out a little. Thank you.
I think just when you were saying that, when you said a little, and then you kind of froze your face there, so it cut out just in that moment. So a little, what were you saying?
You're either going to come out like a little bit better, or just like, as you say, exponentially better. You're going to come out a badder. So roll the dice. You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose. It's either going to be one a little bit better or incredibly better. So
Yeah. I think also could be, sometimes people watching this might be, maybe some of you, have just seen some of my videos recently in the last week or so, or you've seen some of my posts and you're like, who's this guy? And I think it's, normal to feel like, like Millie was saying, what do you have to lose? You might be thinking, well, I don't know this guy, but, hopefully you're seeing people like this. And by the way, I'm not paying Millie to say anything. I think she doesn't know what I was going to ask her. And you're watching this case study, so hopefully it inspires you and gives you some confidence. So where to from now, and what's possible, and what would you like to be possible in your life from this point? Because you've done some amazing work, and where to from here?
I just want to keep going with it. I think I've made so much progress, and it's not a case of I've learned to survive, I've learned to live. I'm like, okay, I'm thriving, and I want to live the biggest, best life that I can. And so for me, that's why I've signed up to Soul Gym. Like, I want to know that, yeah, I'm living. I'm not some hippie that's meditating every day and not doing it, and like getting lost in it. I still live a very busy, full life, but I love the feeling that I have that safety net of, okay, I don't have to do another 2-week course, but I can just check in when I need, if I'm having my wobble, if I'm forgetting who I am, and I need reminding of the work that I've done. So it's like my safety net, but then also it's how much further can you go? Like, how much more stuff can you move out the way, and how much further can you go? Like, the sky's the limit. The infinite potential. I get it. Penny's dropped.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that. So thank you very much for your time and taking time out every day. As you just said, you're busy, you've got lots of stuff going on. Any closing thoughts or things, anything you want to share just as we close up? And also, if you want to just repeat again before, just as you finish up, how people can find your stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm on Millie Does Yoga. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and there's a mailing list that you can sign up to on there. My last thing that I would say is, like, even if you're just a little bit curious, even if you think you're okay, like, it's like an MOT. Like, just go and see what's going on. You'll notice things about yourself that you didn't know were happening. And if you're going through a mad trauma, obviously do it, because it will help you. If you're just ticking along and you're thinking, oh, I'm a bit ambivalent, still do it, because you have no idea how much further you can go. Like, I was just a bit curious. I felt fine. And even then, my life has completely transformed. So yeah, whichever level you're at, wherever you are, you can definitely get something out of it.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time, Millie, and your, sharing your very inspiring story. I'm sure lots of people out there watching this video, will receive lots from it. And we'll see you in Soul Gym.
Yeah, can't
Thank
wait.
you.
Thank you.